The Blue Ridge Area Food Bank was founded in 1981 by a caring and compassionate man named Phil Grasty. He set up the food bank here in this old farmhouse in Verona, just north of Stanton, and distributed 500,000 pounds of food that first year. As the need for food assistance grew, so did the food bank. We established branches in Charlottesville, Winchester, and Lynchburg, and we expanded our main distribution center around the original old farmhouse, adding one warehouse building after another every time we found ourselves bursting at the seams. The last addition was made in 1999 when we were distributing 7 million pounds of food per year. Not much about our facility has changed since then, but everything else has changed dramatically. I'm Michael McKee, Chief Executive Officer of the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank, and I'd like to share with you our plans to make our operations more efficient and ready to meet the urgent need for food assistance in the communities we serve. You can think of the food bank as a giant hub. We bring food in from throughout the state and the eastern part of the country to this facility. We carefully unload it, inspect it, and make sure it's safe. And then we store it and distribute it to 234 partner agencies, food pantries, soup kitchens, and shelters in the Central Valley, and to our distribution centers in Charlottesville, Lynchburg, and Winchester. In all, we serve 25 counties and 9 cities. Now remember when I said that when we last expanded our warehouse, we were distributing 7 million pounds of food per year? Today that number is 24 million pounds, enough to fill 1,000 tractor trailers. And if you lined up 1,000 tractor trailers, that line would stretch for 14 miles. The problem is, this facility is not equipped to handle this much food, especially fresh produce. Just 8 years ago, we were distributing 500,000 pounds of fruits and vegetables. This year, 10 times as much, about 5 million pounds overall, and about half of that passes through this warehouse. Now we have 2 walk-in refrigerators, but they're designed and needed for dairy products and other perishables, not produce. In fact, they're cooled to about 38 degrees. But when you put vegetables in 38 degrees and take them out and load them back on the truck, they sweat, and that leads to spoilage. So instead, we store big bins of produce wherever we can find space on the warehouse floor. And we actually turn away good, wholesome fruits and vegetables for lack of space. And that old farmhouse, it was perfectly fine in the old days when we had half the employees we have now, and our food mission was 1/4 of its current capacity. But as we grew, we took space from the warehouse for offices. Sure, we doubled and even tripled up where we could, but we need that space back. The reality today is that the level of need in our community is higher than it was even at the peak of the recession. How can that be? Well, here's why. The majority of the jobs lost during the recession were mid-paying jobs. Nothing that would make one rich, but enough to support a family. And yet, most of the jobs that have come back are lower paying, close to minimum wage, and often part-time with no benefits. And that, more than any other reason, is why we were still helping about 120,000 people every month, nearly twice the number as we were just 8 years ago. With so many people counting on us, we have to make sure that the food bank remains as effective and as efficient as possible. And that starts right here with this facility. The exponential growth and the need for food assistance simply means we need more space for food, especially cold storage, as well as offices in order to accomplish our vital mission. So let me give you a quick tour of the construction project. We'll start here. This is what we call our salvage room. It's where volunteers inspect about 1,000 tons of loose food that comes in from food drives and grocery stores. This entire structure will come down, and in its place will be one twice as big and twice as high that will house a produce cooler with enough capacity to hold 36 tons of produce. That's about 3 tractor trailer loads. It will be cooled to about 50 degrees, just right for apples, sweet potatoes, and other fruits and vegetables. Next to that will be a salvage holding room. This is where we will keep loose food items that have been donated and need to be inspected and cleaned before being placed into our inventory. And next to both is a clean room. Here, we'll be able to accommodate twice the number of volunteers that we have space for now, and put them to work sorting and packing food. The reason it's called a cleaning room is that we'll have the ability to wash everything down, which enables us to take huge bins of produce and repack the items ourselves with volunteers into 5 and 10 pound bags. Currently, we spend 3 to 4 cents a pound for that effort, so we'll save a minimum of $25,000 each and every year. Back in our main warehouse, we'll recapture space that had been used for salvage holding. In total, we'll add about 20% more capacity to the food bank, and we'll triple our capacity for produce. Based on trends we're seeing throughout our service area, we're confident that this additional space will meet our needs for years to come. Out front, we'll look different too. A new building will replace the old farmhouse. It will house administration, as well as facilities for our partner agencies to pick up food and to participate in trainings on many topics, including food safety, best practices in hunger relief, and nutrition. The new building will also be accessible for people with disabilities. Currently, someone in a wheelchair could get through the front door, but not much further than that. Finally, the entire food bank complex will be revitalized. We'll repave and create parking to accommodate larger volunteer groups and to meet the mandate for new stormwater management regulations. Ours is a big project, and it is long overdue. The cost will be about $3.6 million for everything. Fortunately, our board of directors has built a long-term reserve fund largely through bequests just for this purpose, leaving us about $800,000 to raise from foundations and the community. Importantly, we will not be using general operating support to pay for construction. Every dollar given to support the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank's programs and operations will be used to provide food to people in need. This old facility has served us well for many years, but we've simply outgrown it, and too many people depend on us for help for us to try and make do any longer. So please join us, either by supporting our programs or by supporting the project. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing, please call me. Thank you.